W0TX repeater. PL off.
The Denver Radio Club Net will begin at 8:30. This is K0TR. QSD from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Jim. My call sign is Kilo Zero, Tango Oscar Romeo, and I'll be your net control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio amateurs. We're here to share information concerning any ham-related activities. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And with the COVID-19 restrictions, we've been using the Google system. And the address for that, to attend that meeting, is located on our website, W0TX .org. And our next meeting is going to be held on the 20th of January. We have a virtual meeting now rather than face-to-face. And hopefully sometime this year we'll be able to get back to face-to-face. We'll have to see what happens here with COVID. But so far, still working on virtual meetings. And we have an Elmer session that starts at 6 p.m. just prior to our monthly meeting. And this session addresses any amateur radio questions that you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when our monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for your amateur radio related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication for the Salvation Army, City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, City of Lakewood Police Department, West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. Please contact our club president if you'd like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GB, and Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is www.w0tx.org. Again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. the Denver Radio Club, also participates in the Arrl Volunteer Examiner Program. If you have a need for VE testing, we hope to announce here on this net when we have VE testing scheduled, and we also will list that on our website. And with the COVID restrictions, I should say, we have to get a special test area that we can get the amount of separation from the students that are taking tests. So we don't hold those as often as we have in the past. But if you have questions in regards to VE testing, you can get in touch with our club VE team lead, Tom Koszowski. His call is KC2CHE, and his number is 720-284-1911. And like I say, we'll try and get notification of VE testing up on our website or announce that here on this station. Also, there are other clubs in the area that they hold testing as well. We try to pass that information on as it's available as well. So you might stay tuned if that's what you're looking for. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0QR serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now.
AC0VC, Tom in Centennial.
AC0VC, Jim.
KA0VBA. All right, we copied AC0VC Bill and KC2CHE Tom and K0VBA. Well, then my memory loses me and Curtis. There we go. Sorry about that, Curtis. So let's start with AC0VC, Bill, and I'll get you all checked in here as well. Go ahead, Bill.
AC0VC here, Bill out in Elizabeth. Good evening, Jim, and everyone on the net. Speaking of the VE sessions, and I'm sure that's what Tom's going to talk about, the Laurel Patriot VE team has got a session coming up this Saturday, January the 16th, out in Elizabeth at the American Legion Post. We have two sessions. The first session is at noon. That session is full. The next session will be at 1:30, and we have 4 slots remaining there. If there are more candidates, we'll open up another slot. We keep the number to 10 so we can space everyone safely. And then again, there's another session, another test session that's going to happen on January the 17th. That's going to be in Longmont. There are 3 sessions at this time, and January 25th will be in Centennial, February 21st back to Elizabeth. All these sessions are free with the Laurel Patriot team. There is no fee, and it's all done on the computer. If you don't have a computer or a tablet, you can take a paper test. So if you want to check the schedule or you wish to sign up for a session, you can go to hamstudy.org/sessions/W0 Papa Charlie Tango, W0PCT. And you'll see the schedule there, and you will be able to register for one of those available sessions. You must register for the session to get a PIN number, and that's what's used when you take your test. So you get all your information all set up and in the system prior to showing up. That's all for now, Jim. Back to you, AC0VC.
All right. right, thanks very much, Bill. We appreciate that. And move on down to Tom, KC2CAG. Go ahead with your announcement, Tom.
Yes, sir. DRC is a Arrl affiliated club. We have a tentative VE session set up for also Saturday the 16th, 9 a.m. We have one candidate so far, and the session being administered via the Arrl. There still is the Arrl fee to be paid, but it's a Denver session up in the Rhino neighborhood, so if you're in the Denver area, it may be worth the cost of the Arrl VE fee. In any case, get a hold of me. You have my phone number and information that Jim passed on at the beginning of the session, and we'll certainly be able to accommodate some more than one person. KAC2CAG.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Do appreciate that as well. And next we got KA0VBA Curtis. Go ahead with your announcement.
I apologize, Jim, that I tested your memory, so I intended to give you my name. So I'm still leading or coordinating a series of study sessions for the general exam. Our session will be Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. We try to do a 1-hour session every week, and we're in the middle of the testing, but are in the middle of the exam of the study. But there's room for plenty of room for other students. It's a Zoom session, and the Zoom ID is 303-424-7373. Thank you, Jim. KA0VBA.
Yes, thank you, Curtis. Appreciate that. No problem there testing the memory. It needs to be tested from time to time. Just try to keep it functioning. But it needs some work some days. And yeah, that's a good opportunity. There's a number of people that have inquired from time to time in regards to getting their general. So there's a good opportunity to get in touch with Curtis and to join the class that they've got going on, being it's on Zoom. Don't have to do any travel or anything, and be a good opportunity to try and get some studying in and see if you can't pass that general test. So appreciate that, Curtis, and hope you can find some more people that to join in with you there and make that more worthwhile. So, all right, well, appreciate that. Before I move on, I guess I better make another check and see whether we got any other special announcements or bulletins for the net. If you have one, please call now. All right, well, there's a number of opportunities for taking exams and also signing up for a general class if you're interested in upgrading. So hope that helps. And let's move on here. Before regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PL repeater access tone, so you can use either 145.490 MHz with a minus 600 kHz offset, or 448.625 MHz with a minus 5 MHz offset. Are they visiting radio amateurs like to check into the Denver Radio Club net tonight? If so, please call now.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Charlie Papa Tango, mobile. Chris?
And Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in, KF0CPT Chris. Welcome to the net. Glad to have you check in with us, and we certainly would invite you to check in any Sunday night. Always glad to have visitors check in. And just out of curiosity, how did you happen to find us?
Good old Google search.
Well, very good. We appreciate Google's help. And again, welcome to the net. And if we can help in any way, please don't hesitate to call. Make one more call. We have any other visitors who would like to check into our net tonight? If so, please call out. All right, next I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call out. I'll now take regular check-ins in groups, and please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin with letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
110 Delta Papa Romeo, Paul in Aurora.
N0ETZ, Lance, Aurora, no traffic. November 5, Charlie Mike Kilo Greg in Denver, no traffic.
November 0, Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim in Littleton, no traffic.
November 0, Delta Bravo Sierra, Don in Denver, no traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Alpha Foxtrot Quebec, Troy in Denver, no traffic. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Bravo Alpha Kilo David, Lakewood, no traffic.
Whiskey Delta 6, Delta Oscar Kilo. Rich in Arvada, and I have a question when it's appropriate.
W0TX Repeater.
And at Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0 DPR Paul, N0 ETV Lance, N5 CMK Greg, N0 EYZ Jim, N0 DBS Don, KF0 AFQ Troy, KF0 BAK David, and WD6 DOK Rich with a question. Make one more call for radio amateurs. This call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
KA5 DKS Ken in Arvada.
Kilo 9 Bravo Yankee Uniform, Russell, Mobile, and Highlands Ranch. It's Kilo 9 Bravo Yankee Uniform.
Kilo Charlie 0, Charlie Zulu, Bob and Thornton.
GB0CHT Jeff in Lakewood.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Charlie Lima Delta, John in Highlands Ranch.
And at Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KA5 DKS Ken, and I believe I got it right here, K9er BYU Rich. Did I get your call sign right?
Call sign is correct. K9BYU. Name is Russell.
Sorry, thought there was something mixed up there, but I got Rich, not Russell, so thank you for the correction. And let's see, next I had KC0CZ Bob, KB0CHT Jeff, and John, I got the prefix, but I didn't get the suffix. Could you come back with the second part of your call, or the whole call for me, please? John, I got Kilo 0 and I didn't get the rest of the call. Could you come back and fill in the rest for me, please?
Yes, Kilo Foxtrot 0 Charlie Lima Delta, John.
All right, that's what happened. I guess I missed part of the prefix as well. Kilo Foxtrot 0 Lima Charlie Delta. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. And let me move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs' call suffixes begin letters F through J. Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now.
W0GB Jerry Westminster. N0GWM Leon in Lakewood.
Kilo 7 India Romeo Charlie, Highlands Ranch, Bill.
Kilo 6 Hotel, Juliet Victor, Tom Arvada, no traffic.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo. AA0 JK Fred in Arvada. Good evening, no traffic.
November 0 Golf Tango Golf, Kurt in Denver.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. W0GV Jerry, N0GWM Leon, and Bill, I don't know if I got your call right. K7RC is what I got. Is that all of it?
That would be Kilo 7 India Romeo Charlie, K7IRC.
Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. K7IRC. Next I had K6HJV Tom, and AA0JK Fred, and N0GTG Kurt. Make one more call for radio amateurs. This call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now. All right, we'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Whiskey 0 Lima Foxtrot, Orland and Golden with no traffic. Over.
Kilo Echo 0 Oscar Sierra India, Tom Highlands Ranch, no traffic, over.
Whiskey 0 Mike Delta Kilo, Matt's at Denver.
Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India, K0 LAI, Larry Lakewood.
Kilo Charlie 7, Oscar Hotel Mike, Gary in Lakewood.
Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra, Kevin Lakewood.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WW0LF Orland, KE0OSI Tom. I had a double, and I could not pick out anything else, so if I don't call your name and call sign here, repeat here at the second go-round. And next I had W0MDK Matt, K0LAI Larry, KC7OHM Gary, and K0KPS Kevin. So if I missed you there, come back here in second call. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now. We move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Stan in Denver, no traffic.
W0TX Repeater.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Kilo Echo 0, Romeo Victor Zulu, John in Lakewood, no traffic.
November 0, Quebec, Oscar, Arrl in Wheat Ridge, no traffic.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Quebec Delta Golf, KB9 QDG, Carl, Lakewood, no traffic.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2SHR Stan, N0TRP Jim, KE0RVZ John, N0QOO Earl, and KB9er QDG Carl. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now. All right, we'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
Ken in Broomfield.
And at control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. At K0YES Ken. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
W0CIV, Charles and Denver, no traffic.
And at control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. Sorry, I just put down my pencil here when you come back, so let me see if I got a call right. I got W0UIV, Carl, did I get that right? Carl, could you verify if I got your call and name right? W0UIV, Carl? All right, we'll assume it's right. Let me do the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
K0KKU, Frank and Thornton. Whiskey David 0, Charlie India Victor, Charles and Denver.
And at control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0KKU Frank and WD0CIV Charles. There'll be a chance for late check-ins a little bit later in the net. And at this time, I'd like to invite our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV, cover club business. Go ahead, Jerry, the net is yours.
All right, Jim, well, thanks for doing the net. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's staying well and doing well. Don't have a whole lot. It's been pretty quiet. I will say the R14733 West repeater has been down. We've got a issue with the control of it, but we've got a fix coming up here, so we'll hopefully get it back on soon. Not too much else. We're still progressing with our remote receiver project for the 6-meter repeater, and that's progressing, and I can't think of too much else. Our upcoming meeting this month will be January 20th, so a week from this coming Wednesday, and our program will be presented by Robert, K0RCW, and he'll be telling us about the new ICOM 705 Qrp rig. Looks like a really neat little radio, so Robert will go through all the features, and I think he's got some video demo of it he's going to show us. So it'll be interesting to find out about this new popular Qrp rig from ICOM. I don't think I have anything else, so again, hope everybody's doing well, and back to you, Jim, W0GV.
All right, thanks, Jerry. We appreciate that. And let's see, WD6 DOK. Rich, you had a question. Go ahead with your traffic.
Yeah, Jim, thank you. I've got a question that's really for the Learning Net, so if you would rather, I'll postpone until Wednesday night.
Well, Rich, you can go ahead and ask it. I think somebody on here might be able to answer for you, but if not, we'll defer till Wednesday night. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, there were quite a few check-ins tonight. Anyway, I've got HF rig and a 2-meter rig here. They all share the same power supply. When I have both of them on, they interfere with each other as far as tuning and so forth. And I was just wondering if anybody else has experienced that problem, and how did they correct it? I was thinking a DC line filter is a possible culprit, not having one. So just curious, would like any kind of feedback on that. Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo.
Rich, I have a question in regards to that. That interference, does that happen just when you're transmitting one or the other?
W0TX repeater.
No, Jim, if both radios are on, and I say tune the HF rig, it affects the tuning on the 2-meter rig. It'll change it, and also other items. It just messes everything up, and I'm just wondering if it's something coming down the DC line, because there are no filters on it whatsoever. Or if anybody else has experienced it or had got any suggestions, would appreciate it. WD60, okay.
Sounds to me like, Rich, that you need some filtering on there, because that is totally unusual. I've not run into that kind of problem, even though I run a couple radios off the same power supply. So I don't know if anybody else has any comments, but I suspect that's my first thought is lack of filtering. It would actually cause that kind of a condition. That's kind of strange, because I haven't even heard of power supply poor regulation causing frequencies frequencies to change on radio. So anyways, anybody else have any comment? Come back.
N0ETV, Lance.
N0ETV, Lance, go ahead.
I would ask is how close are the two antennas to these rigs? You simply overlaid one rig by transmitting into the other receiving antenna.
Yes, I guess it's possible. They're both in the backyard, and the rig I'm talking about right now is a 7100 and vertical antenna, and then I've got a wire and another vertical antenna on HF. So I suppose it's possible that there are some sort of intermod between them through that. But I'm not transmitting on either radio at the time. I'm just tuning one radio at the time, and it affects the other one.
Okay, if you suggest, think the radios are not having that problem, a quick check is to put a dummy load on one of the radios and then talk into the other one and see if your problem goes away. That'll tell you if you got a linkage between the antennas. N0ETV.
K7IRC. Well, he doesn't have to transmit. He just has to change frequency on one radio. Say the HF radio, and the VHF radio frequency changes it while he's doing that. So it doesn't sound like it's a transmit type of issue. It sounds like we got some kind of coupling through the power supply. WW0LF. Yes, WW0LF. Go ahead, Orlin.
Okay, what are the first thing I question would be, what are the two radios? What models of radios? And have you tried running one of them off of a separate power supply with a battery? A battery or something, even for short-term use, just to see if this problem follows the common power supply. And the third thing would be, what else have you got hooked to the radios? Do you have any anything like a signal link hooked to it or something like that? Anything connected to the accessory terminals?
Okay, both the radios are ICOM radios. One is a 7100 and the other one is a 7610. I have nothing coupled between anything, using on other things on them. The power supply does go down to a bus, and the bus feeds each radio. So I don't know. That's just yeah. And as far as the power supplies, I have not done that yet. That was my thought, was to put one of them on another power supply or a battery and try it, and I will do that. W0TX, okay.
Question.
Go ahead, question.
AA0JK, yeah, what's the model number of the power supply?
It's an Astron. It's puts out 40 watts. I don't know what the model number is to actually. I'm sorry. It's an RS35M, as in Mary.
AC0VC.
AC0VC, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, along the same lines as the power supply. I haven't had that happen, but I've run across situations in the past. You may want to, if you could disconnect the power from the back of the radio and check with a voltmeter across both leads to make sure you do have both power and the ground. Sometimes if that ground is missing or loose, strange things can occur. You could be picking up the ground from the shield on the antenna or some other source, so it wouldn't be the proper ground from the power supply itself. So just another thing to throw out there to check. AC0VC.
Okay, thank you very much. Both radios are grounded to a bus, and then it goes to a grounding rod in the ground. But I have not tried that. I will. I will make sure that there is a ground on the power supply.
Comment, RVZ.
Yes, go ahead, comment.
KE0RVZ. You might check that power supply for both voltage that is deviating and running around, but also set and put a scope on it if you have that capability. Depending on what that power supply is doing, if it's doing some switching in there to it, you can get glitches or pops in it that will affect frequencies and change things, especially if the frequencies and such are deviated off the line frequency. We've had some very strange interactions with one that way to it. So if you can put a scope on those, on that output of that power supply and see what it is, you might find the trouble. KE0RVZ.
Okay, thank you very much. I will try that. I do have that capability.
All right, well, Rich, there's several ideas there. I guess you can go back and check. And yeah, I think the scope on there will tell you, too, whether or not filtering on that Astron is doing a job and what kind of noise or RF. You might be getting feedback on there. So good luck with that, and hopefully you find something that straightens that out, because that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, it is, and I appreciate everybody with the comments, and thank you very much. I will give this a try. You're right, it is somewhat frustrating. Everything appears to be okay, but obviously it's not. So I will take the comments and go ahead and give it a shot. I appreciate taking the time on this on the net. I didn't mean to take a lot of time on it. But anyway, again, I thank everybody for their comments, and I will go ahead and check it out. This is Whiskey Delta 6, Delta Oscar Kilo, back to net.
Let us know if you find anything, AC0VC.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, good luck with that, Rich. And don't worry about the time. That's what we're here for, so help out one another. All right, don't see anyone else that indicated they had traffic on the net. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX. And this is K02R, your net control station. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? Please call now.
W0TX Repeater.
All right, didn't hear any response. Do we have any late check-ins? Please call now. All right. I'll now review next weekend's contests and upcoming Hamfest. And I indicated last Sunday night that I had gotten an email in regards to I guess we call it a virtual Hamfest, that the NCRARC, the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club, was planning to hold, and they said there would be some more information coming out. And I failed to receive anything on that. They had identified it was going to be held on January the 16th at 8 a.m., and it had a number of presenters that they had planned. So, unfortunately, that's going to happen before the next Sunday night net. So, all I can suggest is if you're interested in that, I would check on their website. That's ncarc.net, and see if they have some information on that. But it sounded like they had some interesting speakers, and I apologize for not having some more information. I thought I would receive some more information, and I failed to find it if it was sent. So, as far as the upcoming contests, first one I have here on the list is the Hungarian Dx Contest. That begins on January the 16th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through January the 17th until 11:59 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That's a CW and phone contest. Next we have the Pro Digi Contest. Begins on January 16th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through January 17th until 11:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a digital contest. Then we have the North American QSO Party. That begins on January 16th at 1600 hours Zulu, goes through January 17th until 05:59 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That is a phone contest. Next we have the NA, I assume that's North American Collegiate Championship. That begins on January 16th at 1800 hours Zulu, goes through January the 17th until 05:59 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 10 meters, and that also is a phone contest. Next we have the WAB 1.8 megahertz phone CW contest. That begins on January 16th at 1900 hours Zulu, goes through January 16th until 2300 hours Zulu. That is on 160 meters. That is CW and phone contest. Next we have the Arrl January VHF contest. That begins on January 16th at 1900 hours Zulu, goes through January 16th until 03:59 hours Zulu. That's on 6 meters and up. That's CW, phone, and digital contest. Next, we have the Feldhell Sprint. It begins on January 16th at 2000 hours Zulu, goes through January 17th until 05:59 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 40 meters. That's a digital contest. And lastly, we have Run for the Bacon Qrp Contest. It begins on January 17th at 2,300 hours Zulu, goes through January 18th until 0100 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 28 meters. 160 through 10 meters. That's a CW contest. Sorry for the mix-up there. Couple of reminders. High Noon Net, they meet daily at 12 noon with early check-ins beginning at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz on the 40-meter band. And also Salvation Army Saturnet. They meet on 1,500 hours Zulu, and that's 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. They meet Monday through Saturday on a frequency of 14.265 megahertz, which is on the 20-meter band. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs: a 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, a 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset, a 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset, a 449.350 megahertz with a negative offset, a 448.625 megahertz with a negative offset, a 447.825 megahertz with a negative offset. Our digital turbo repeater operating on Brandmeister on 446.7875 megahertz with a negative offset, and our C4 FM digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. The 447.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM, and that requires a digital coded squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. The repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz PO tone, and a second repeater located east near Franktown requires a 131.8 hertz PO tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency with different frequency propagation, we ask that you monitor the frequency to ensure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station, W0TX, node number 4140. And the 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with the 145.490 megahertz repeater. The repeater on 449.775 is now a C4 FM digital-only repeater, and each repeater requires a 100 hertz PO tone for activation, except as noted, and each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have the 145.050 megahertz gateway on 2 meters that is interconnected with the 14.105 megahertz gateway on 20 meters for packet QSO. And we have a 6-meter repeater on 53.09 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with a required 107.2 hertz PO tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerryville Howard, W0GV. And I'd like to take this opportunity to again welcome KF0CPT Chris for visiting tonight. Always glad to have visitors stop by, and we certainly would encourage Chris to stop by any Sunday night and join us. And I'd like to thank everyone for checking into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a great week. 7-3, and tonight we had a total of 38 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club Net is now closed at 9:22, and repeaters available for regular use. This is K0TR, your net control station, and please stand by a moment while I return the appeal to the repeater.
L on.
And this is K02R, and I'm clear. Good evening to all.
W0TX repeater.
KN0SAT requesting a radio check.
KN0SAT, this is K0TR. Coming in loud and clear. I don't hear any noise coming out of the repeater, so I think you got a good clear signal going into it.
That's great news. I've been messing around with this all night. Just got an ICOM 2730 and been beating my head all night, but I think I got it figured out finally. Thank you so much. I didn't catch your call sign. This is KN0SAT.
Well, I guess you got your problem fixed. That's good. And my call sign here is K0TR. But good luck with it. And it sounds like you found the problem. So enjoy the radio. This is K0TR.